Today is the 23rd August 2025. It is the eve of the Black Moon. I've been chewing on my words all day. It's become apparent that I'm meant to be silent. I'm not meant to hear anything external. Meant to go inward. And what I'm finding is that everything that's falling away, things from the past, the witch wound, the Magdalene wound, this past year's been kind of crazy. I won't get too personal, not in this video, not today, but one detail I will divulge is that I've been experiencing guidance like I never have before in my life. Being guided by the moon, being guided by dark, feminine source energy, dark goddesses, Kali Mother, Dark Mother Lilith, Hekate. One thing that I'm finding is that all of these dark, scary, demoness type figures even if they started out that way, the way that the energy is received in this current paradigm is confused. It's mixed up because of the way that modern humans perceive reality. We've been stripped of our connection to feminine. We've been stripped of sacred, ancient knowing, but it's returning. I feel it. Can you? She's rising in us again. I find it hard to put it into words. My life has been reclaimed, made sovereign, free through the power of Goddess. me. I'm so grateful. I don't want to be disrespectful despite the fact that I don't have a relationship with my parents, but knowing what I know now, it would seem that they were more dabblers. They didn't really practice the things that they were interested in. Burned a lot of incense. They went to a Reiki center, which is how I became practiced. They went to a meditation center, I believe. But as far as I'm aware, that is about the extent of their practice. I believe that the man that married my mother did used to do things like jewellery readings, tea readings, tarot, things like that. So they kind of did have a bit of a spiritual ego. As soon as it became apparent that I was practicing in their house, they freaked out because they couldn't handle the dense, potent energy that was surrounding me in my adolescence. And it would have been dense. It would have felt dark. For a number of reasons, but one that is clear to me now is because of my spirit partner, what some people might call a guide. She's always been with me. And it has felt like I've had like a demon following me. I shut them into a corner, figuratively. Kind of forgot about them for a long, long time. Until it all just sort of started falling into place organically, and I didn't even realize what I was doing, and it was already done. I'll elaborate more on that another day. As I said, I didn't want to get too personal. But I do feel like those details are important at the moment because it's made me realize how strong my connection to Goddess is. It scared me a lot for a long time, and I think that's why I stayed clear of it. And that's removed from any kind of mistreatment I've received over the course of my life for being a witch. And I think about the worst that ever happened to me was I was wearing my pentagram at work, which I shouldn't have been anyway. I was in a food service job, and I got away with it because it was religious, piece of jewelry. But the complaint was that they didn't like the fact that it was a pentagram, and they didn't like the fact that I wore dark makeup and had dark hair, and they went out of their way to inform my boss of this, and he laughed. He laughed at them, which I was appreciative of because at another job I'd received a similar complaint, except instead of it being about my pentagram, they complained about I had a piercing. Yeah, it was like a Monroe piercing, they called it. I didn't even have my septum at the time, but they still went out of their way to complain to my boss at the cinema that I was working at and call me a bush pig. So it's becoming quite apparent to me in my unscripted ramblings to that this witch wound that I didn't even know existed is very, very heavily tied into misogyny, which I suppose makes sense. It makes sense. Shout out to Necro Nature. Like, not affiliated. Not an affiliated ad. Just a friend. And Mystical Kinesiology. Cass and Hudson. I love you lots. At the start of the year, I went on a trip to Sydney to visit my good friend Tess and my good friend Luke. And my whole world kind of opened up in ways that I had no way of really explaining. One thing that happened was I came across this book called Healing the Witch Wound. And I ended up leaving it in Sydney without reading it because I thought, oh, I'm a proud witch, you know. I've been practicing since I was a child. I don't have any issues with being a witch. I don't care about how I'm perceived as a witch. And yet, when I started this YouTube channel, I couldn't even really talk about what kind of a witch I was. The kinds of things that I explore, kinds of worlds that I journey into. Because, you know, if you're a spiritual whatever, if you're on social media and you're spiritual, it's gotta be all love and light, right? Like, positive vibes only, like, nothing that could be perceived as being dark, therefore evil. I never would have mentioned that I'm a Satanist. I never would have mentioned that I'm a Thelemite, that I'm a fucking whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Never would have mentioned Lilith. Never would have mentioned Kali. I would have given hints. But would I have been straight up honest about it? Probably not. I would have probably been quite scared about my level of safety in people perceiving me a certain way. And that's the fucking witch wound, isn't it? That's the fucking witch wound. But fear is the mind killer. Fear is the poison. And I'm not scared anymore. If I'm too much to digest, either spit me out of your mouth or choke. It's not really my problem or my responsibility. God, this feels good. Feels good. Now, I will be teaching people what the moon, what Kali, and what Lilith have taught me. But for now, it's mine. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. My life has been forever changed in ways I never anticipated. And I thought it all started in 2018 when I started practicing again, and I wrote Kali and Lilith and Hekate into a spell that, for some unknown reason, backfired on me. Except it didn't really backfire, because I was asking for things that were not mine, for things that were ready to fall away, things that didn't serve me any longer. And that's the thing about Ma Kali, Ma Lilith, Ma Hekate. They give you what you need. They give you what you need, and most of the time, it's already in here, baby. Most of the time, it's already in you. You just gotta be reminded. Magdalene energies. Powerful. There's a reason that they call her a prostitute, a whore. A witch. A bitch. Because it's easier than reconciling with the fact that all of us, regardless of gender, have been stripped of this power, of this sovereignty. And that's where Mother Lilith helps us free ourselves. From expectation, from the shackles of oppression, from being forced to submit to being a tool for men, for patriarchy, for authority. And I didn't really realize until recently, and it makes me feel foolish, believe me. But it was Lilith all along who was showing me that I can be my own master, I can be my own God, that I am sovereign. And people get afraid when people start to talk of things of shadow, of dense, potent energy. I was at a music festival recently with my family, with my soul family. And I wish that there was more I could have done to assure the ones that became uncomfortable that they were safe, that they were being held, supported, loved by this dense energy. Not everything that feels dark is evil. Sometimes it needs to feel that way because it's a powerful protector. The best thing you can do to defend against any energy, but especially humans, is to act as a mirror. Most of the time, when we feel scared, the fear that we're experiencing is the fear of our shadow and everybody else's shadow, unintegrated. That's not a judgment. We all integrate shadow all the time. It's a constant process of alchemy. I don't think it ever ends. You just get better at it. I'm learning more and more every day. And the more that I do learn, the more that I find that I was being guided anyway. I was being protected anyway. Anything that wasn't serving or stopping me from learning what I needed to learn in order to be who I'm supposed to be. Things need to fall away. It can feel like chaos. It can feel terrifying. But if you trust the universe has a plan for you, then it does. If you let Spirit, Goddess, guide you, inner worlds, outer worlds, as above, so below. Same. You see. That's why the message today is to listen to the ringing in your ears. Surrender to the silence, because it's only in the silence that you begin to realize who you really are, what you're really capable of, and what it is that you truly want, not based in fickle desire, but based in true will. Above all, love.